Hi guys, so today I'm filming my January wrap-up video. I know this is very late. It is the 10th of February when I'm filming this, so I'm a little bit late, but I was going to merge January and February's wrap-up together until I realised I was kind of reading more books than I thought I was going to be reading. So I thought it's best to just get this out of the way so you can see all the books I read and then be done. We have a good mixture today, so we have like a 1-star, a 5-star and then a couple of in-betweens. The first book that I read was a 1-star, very sadly, and that is How to Kill Your Husband by Kathy Letty. This, I actually DNF'd, but I got so far in that I kind of feel like I want to count as read, and I felt like I knew enough to give it a review. This was a disappointing book. A group of 3 friends and all of their husbands aren't the best people. Some of them cheat, some of them are just rubbish with the housework, some of them don't portray in bed for a woman. Her friend is arrested for murder of her husband and she's claiming that she didn't do it. But the main character of the book is thinking back to all the times her friend didn't like her husband, and it tells you the story through it of her friend saying basically how her husband was a cheat and discovering things about each friend in turn, including the main character thinking she loved her husband and then seeing a pathway to which we find that going. Concept's fine, I'm not really into that kind of book anyway, but it was passed to me and I thought I'd give it a try. This book comes across as sexist and like all men are trash, men have no care for a woman, that they all cheat on everybody. It just was really negative. It didn't feel like a book, it felt like an author portraying her emotions. I really didn't like this book, hence the DNFing. I don't think it was because I didn't like the genre, I think it's just because the book is bad. She has got a lot of works, so she's got to be successful in somehow, but it is not for me and I did not like this book. I think the language in it was unnecessary and I personally wouldn't pick this up again. The second book I read in January was one I've been meaning to read for quite a while now, and that is The Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a very popular book. I have not read anything else in the Grisha universe. Actually, it's the first Leigh Bardugo book I've ever read. I thought this was a really good book. It was a 5-star all the way through until the end, where it kind of wrapped up way too easily, and I thought, you've presented all these issues all the way through that suddenly are not an issue anymore. I think this definitely needs a reread from me, knowing the ending, seeing if there's any way I've missed something, or maybe just because I was so engrossed it went faster than I think. But I did drop this book down to a 4-star after that ending. It's still a really good book. 4-star still means I really love it. Then something happened in the end to create the sequel that I thought was so unnecessary. This was a good book, I would definitely read it again, and I obviously was fascinated by it because I went straight from reading this book to reading the sequel, Crooked Kingdom, once again by Leigh Bardugo. This book I marked a 3-star. This book I felt was unnecessary. I felt it was a way of perhaps making money. This is a confusing and unnecessary book. There was really no need for it in my opinion. Still hooked by every page. I read it in 2 days and it's a pretty big book. And in 2 days I was fascinated. I couldn't get my head out of it. And the writing is lovely and the story's fine. It just feels unnecessary, a waste of my time. I wouldn't read this one again, however Six of Crows I think is a good enough book to read again. The 4th book I read is actually Lucy Lockhart by Bryce Thomas. It's a reread for me, I read it when I was younger, but I had it signed and personalised to me when I met Bryce Thomas many a year ago. I love the storyline. So basically Lucy wakes up and she has memories of being a 30-year-old. And then when the doctor comes in and finds out she's not the person she thinks she is, she's actually, I think, a 12-year-old girl. She realises that she has to get used to this whole new life that she doesn't remember, and then she goes to stay with the doctor and his daughter, and that's where the book takes place, is in their house. I don't want to give too much away, it is a really good book. The 5th and final book that I read in January, and I finished right on the last day of January so I didn't have to drag in to February, was The House at Riverton by Kate Morton. I gave it a 5-star. It bounces between 2 times, 1924 and 1999. An old lady nearing the end of her life, and she can see that she's nearing the end of her life, and she's reminiscing with a woman who is making a film about the house at Riverton, about her time there as a maid, and there was a suicide at the house at Riverton that she is documenting on film, but the book insinuates that something more has happened than just this suicide. It focuses more on the relationships that she had in the house and the way she worked in the house and the lessons she took from it. It's such a beautiful book. It's a really, really big book. It is just under 600 pages, so it is a long book and a lot of detail is crammed into here, but it is beautifully written. It is a beautiful story. The setting is beautiful, and I really, really do think anybody who reads this would love it. It is not my usual thing. I really, really loved this book. 5-star. We'll read it again, I'm sure, very, very soon. That is all the books that I read in January. Really, really hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below. I shall see you all again soon. Bye.